What if I told you that there's a little device that you could use that makes not only your retro consoles look a lot better when they're going to a 4K TV, but also it upscales them, cleans off all the jaggies, as well as works with modern consoles too and cleaning up the images, especially Nintendo Switch. You're probably wondering, what device am I talking about? It's one you've probably heard of, none other than the mClassic. This thing right here, it's such a godsend, and in this video we're going to be diving into why you should be picking this up and utilizing it for all your consoles, retro as well as modern. Let's get into it.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike.
Now, before we kick off this video, I want to give a huge shout out to Marseille. I believe that's how you pronounce the name of the company, for sending over the mClassic. This device has been such a godsend because it's basically an upscaler in a HDMI format that is powered via micro USB. And this right here is really super cool because I remember being at E3 2019 and getting to see this hands-on and how it worked and how it like improved the quality of the video for like the Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and Nintendo 64, as well as modern consoles, especially Nintendo Switch, which is oddly a system that's current generation, well, kind of current generation, with a lot of pixelization and jaggies. And this right here did so much to clean it up. Now, it does have three different functionalities on it. You have off, you have on, which turns on the processing power of the upscaler to smooth out the image and just deliver it in an upscaled and the best resolution and formatting for your current television or monitor setup. And then there's the last switch, which is on the very bottom when you switch it all the way down. That is for your retro consoles because, as you guys know, retro consoles did not use a 16:9 aspect ratio. They used a 4:3. And so it puts it in the 4:3 aspect ratio for the retro consoles, as well as upscaling them to work with your modern TVs and monitors, as well as your capture devices. It's night and day. I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of footage in this video. So if you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. And if you want to pick one of these up, I will have links in the description below. That way you can go and get it. Also, with that being said, if you want to support the channel, make sure you head on over to patreon.com/mcable. That way you get up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel, as well as insider behind the scenes access, early access, as well as input on upcoming content and so much more. So head on over patreon.com/mcable. All that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video for the mClassic. You're going to see why you need to add this to your gaming setup today. Now, the thing with the mClassic, it's really, really simple to utilize this. I think if you're looking at it, you're like, well, what goes into what? How do I set this up? Well, there's a couple different things that you can do with this. So directly, what you really want to do is you want to plug this directly into the HDMI port on the back of your console. That way it'll be able to, when the signal is going out of it, it can be upscaled and it can be correctly given the aspect ratio it needs, depending on if you're using this with a retro console or if you're using this with modern consoles like the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, as well as a Nintendo Switch. Now, like I said, there are three different switches that are on the mClassic. The default switch is off, so that means there's no additional processing or post-processing done. It is the clean image going directly from your console into the TV, monitor, or your capture device. I'm going to be showing you a lot of that footage as we go along in this video. The second one is going to be the powering on processing mode, which is going to be followed by a green light that's going to be on here. Now, when it's on that green light, it's going to upscale it to the best image quality that it can do with this, small form factor. And it's going to be amazing when you put it side by side and you see what a lot of the games look like and what they look like natively versus what they look like when they're upscale, post-processed, and you get to see how it just cleans up that image. Now, that could be something not everyone may like, just because there are some purists who prefer like a game to look exactly how it is. And I'm not here to debate whether that's like good or not. That's completely up to you. But I do think it's really cool that it has the capability of making a lot of the older games as well as modern games look a lot better because of the post-processing that's done with this little device. Now, the last setting is when you switch it, it turns on a blue light, and this is for your retro consoles. Now, retro consoles at this point, you can include things such as technically the Nintendo Wii U, the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, the original Xbox, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, GameCube, Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, and on down. Now, when you put this in that mode, it will put it in a 4:3 aspect ratio. Now, I will say for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, as well as the Nintendo Wii U, you probably want to just keep this in the second setting or the green light setting where it has the default processing there, because it's going to allow it to go in that 16:9 aspect ratio. When you put it in the last one, the blue switch, or all the way down, the third option, that is where it's going to be in that 4:3 aspect ratio. So honestly, from the Wii, PlayStation 2, original Xbox and down, they'll be perfect for them because they utilize that aspect ratio. Very few titles for the Wii, the original Xbox, or even the PlayStation 2 will utilize that widescreen, format. Now, what's really cool is a lot of consoles, like when you put them, like any of these retro consoles, if you use an HDMI adapter for these consoles, you'll look and see how like a lot of them are kind of blurry. And they look, some of the games do look really good still for what, when they came out, but they kind of, they could look better because as it is, they kind of look like someone just took some grease and just smeared it on your screen. And while you can make out details here and there, it's still kind of a blurry mess. And that's where this comes in, because it takes that image, it upscales it, because majority of these consoles, with the exception of the original Xbox, which could go up to 1080i, these consoles would go anywhere from 240p up to 480p and 480i. So with this being able to upscale those to 1080p, it looks substantially better. And so you're probably wondering, okay, so what if I want to use this on multiple consoles and I don't want to just use this on one? Like, I know I need to plug this directly into the back of the console, but is there another way? If I'm using like a multi-out port, can I do something with that where the image quality is cleaned up substantially? And my answer to that is yes. You can plug this into many of the HDMI splitters or, HDMI multi-outs. Basically, when the out is going into the TV monitor or whatever your capture card, you can plug this into the back of that and then allow that to plug your HDMI in, plug your micro USB into it, that way it's powered, and then run it out to wherever it's going to go. And you'll be able to control the image output for it, being processed off or for classic games. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Now, at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys a lot of gameplay footage that shows with it off, with it in processing mode, and also with it in retro mode. And we're going to go through a smorgasbord of different games, so make sure you check them out. I'll have timestamps for everything, and we'll go from there.
Attention all units. Suspect seen heading south. Block all major roads and capture the suspect.
This city sure has some steep hills. What did I do?
So what more do I need to say? This little device is such a godsend. It does a lot. I know for the price you would be thinking like, oh man, like, is it really that? Because I've had a lot of people ask me like, is mClassic really worth it? I would say for any of your current setups, this is going to be something that's pretty essential that you want to use. Now, granted, the PlayStation systems, like the PlayStation 2, as well as like the PlayStation original or PlayStation 1, can give this a little bit of a hard time to work with just because they do switch video outputs so rapidly. It can go anywhere from 480p to 480i down to 240 and the like, but it does still work with that. Now with the PlayStation 1, I would probably recommend you use like an OSCC upscaler or converter in conjunction with this, and that way you can get a the best picture out of that retro console. And probably that would also be good to use for like the Sega Saturn and a lot of the retro consoles as well. But you can also use those HDMI adapters that work on retro consoles and run them into this and then go from there. But all that being said, this thing is amazing. I think the quality of it speaks for itself. I don't think I need to say a whole lot more to convince you, because you can already see. You already know what it is. You can see what it does. But with all that being said, why don't you guys let me know what you think of the mClassic down in the comment section below. And if you want to pick one of these up, I will have links in the description so you can go and get it. And outside of that, shout out to Marseille. I hope I'm saying that name correctly, but shout out to them for sending me over the mClassic, because this is such an amazing thing to add to my setup, and it absolutely makes capturing footage from my retro consoles a godsend. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, ding the notification bell, that way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. And on top of that, make sure you go on over to patreon.com/mcale. That way you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel, and also gets you early and exclusive access to various content, as well as behind the scenes and input on upcoming content that we're doing here on the channel. We do have channel memberships as well, but either way, your support is greatly appreciated. All that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you have an aloha and blessed rest of your day. And all that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. And make sure you go pick this up too. It's worth it. Trust me. I'll see you on the next one. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. And if you found anything of importance or substance that you gained from watching this, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that you get from my channel, from podcasts, streams, reviews, impressions, reactions, and so much more. If you want to support what we do have channel memberships, we've got Patreon, we've got Subscribe Star, as well as coffee, which I would love to be drinking some coffee right now, which I am. That's some good coffee. But anyway, we got all of that, and we also have merch on Teespring and TeePublic, so make sure you go check that out. And all that being said, I just hope to see you in the next video that I put out. So hey, see you around.